Dental.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Sports Director Adam Lucas, live from Simplesio Field alongside Jesse Merrick, and we are officially halfway through the JUCO World Series. We started out this whole thing with 10 teams on Saturday. When first pitch was thrown today, we were down to 7, and now at the conclusion of the final game of day 4, we are down to 5 teams. Now, we did just conclude that third game of the day. It was not an elimination game, but it was between Chattahoochee Valley out of Alabama and Northwest Florida State. And Jesse, you talk about those Raiders from Florida, and that was a team that we saw really in their first 2 games just kind of tear through their opponents.
Yeah, they did, and I think they surprised a lot of people, including myself. I mean, on paper, we talked about it during the week. They really didn't have anything that really stood out to them besides their pitching, which they are top 5 in ERA in the country, so that's very impressive. And we actually mic'd up their coach before their game today, and it was some pretty good stuff. Check it out.
It's going to be very boring because I don't say much.
Really nice stench here. Nice stench. When you
overwater
the desert, you get poop smell out of every drink in America.
Not sure what he was talking about, Coach. Not sure what Duke was talking about.
The dugout. The kid was talking about it.
Well, he just took the water away. Does that mean it's bad? Because I just drank up about the whole glass. So if I get sick, I got the wrong water to start with. So, you know what? You got 2 energetic teams right here, 2 good baseball teams. It's going to be a fight. Now, you know, we might be the only ones, guys, that think we're going to win this one because my wife and Coach Garner's wife, they stuck around a little bit and watched the news. So all the media-type folks out here have picked those guys to win, just so you know. All right, so we're going to have to go out and try to prove those guys wrong. All right, let's go.
So you can see those Florida boys right there, a feisty bunch, and you can tell right from the start that these boys came to play. Fly ball to deep right center, and Mac Hathcock, good day, sir, laying out for the diving catch. And that is a top 10 play right there, but Chat Valley's got some good gloves too. That's Hagan on the play, and Hagan hoses it to first for out number 3, but this game's about throwing up R's on the board, and Northwest Florida strikes first after the pass ball to the first baseman. So those Florida boys take the 1-0 lead in the 3rd inning. And the Raiders had it in for Hagan. Another one down the line, but he can't handle this one. And that brings in Hathcock from second to push the lead to 2. You can feel the momentum building to the top of the 5th now. Raiders still blinking Chat Valley, and on what looks like a can of corn to right, it turns into another run for Northwest Florida after the right fielder can't track it. Now, it could have been the rain out there or the wind, but you know what? Coach Martin is loving that Colorado weather right about now.
So Northwest Florida State clearly just overpowers Chattahoochee Valley tonight, taking that game 10-1. But since that was Chattahoochee Valley's first loss, they live to see another day. Northwest Florida remains undefeated in this tournament so far, and they look like a tough team to take down right now, playing with a lot of confidence.
They do, and they're playing with a lot of energy. It's crazy. I haven't seen a team in this field playing with as much energy as they are. It's unreal.
Well, and they're really just going with the same script that they feel disrespected, and they don't care. They're going to beat you with their play and not with their stats, and that's really what they've done so far. So
exactly.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with them. We'll actually get to see both of those teams in action again tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but first, let's go ahead and back up to the early game today. Now, that was kind of an interesting matchup there because it was 2 teams that we thought could really go deep in this tournament, but both found themselves facing elimination. Of course, it was the defending champion Iowa Western Reivers and Yavapai, and that was a team that we really expected to see just kind of smash the ball out here.
It is, yeah. They were known for the long ball. I believe it's 109 home runs on the year. I mean, unbelievable numbers there. So obviously looking to see them just tear it up out here, especially in this elevation, and we have yet to see that.
Well, and we thought that we were going to see a high-scoring affair between those 2 teams because in Iowa Western's first game, they routed USC Sumter 8-0. So we expected to see a high-scoring affair, but didn't necessarily play out that way. Here are those highlights.
Coming off their first shutout loss in 4 years, the Iowa Western Reivers look to respond against the big bats of Willie Calhoun and the Yavapai Rough Riders. Early on, though, it was all about the defense as the Rough Riders showed they're not just about the bat. Off the blooper to shallow center, Brody Clifford comes sliding in to steal away the single, and on the next play, we'd see a little JUCO gem from second. Luke Doyle gets down and dirty, and as the kids say, got him. And it turned into a game of King of the Hill. Boys from both teams were taking care of business on the bump, sending batters back to the pine with ease through 4.5 innings. But in the bottom of the 5th, The defending champs were over this whole scoreless baseball thing. Dom Thompson-Williams says adios, breaking the scoreless streak at a game and a half. And the 3-run shot puts the Reavers up on top by a tray, and I guess that's all they had to do in order to turn things around, because Jared Gates does the same thing right after Dom's 3-run blast. This one, a solo shot over the wall and left, making it 4-0 Reavers. That seemed to wake Yavapai up as well. In the next inning, Alexis Cruz hits a pin seeker to the bleachers in left field. He'll touch them all. You get the Riders on the board, but that would be all she wrote for the Rough Riders, as Michael Klein gave him the hee-haw and shut him down in the final 2 innings, not giving the guys in green anything to hit. And the Reavers respond with the 4-1 win, sending the Rough Riders back on the road to Arizona.
You guys know what an Earl Weaver is? It's a 3-run home run. Old manager for the Orioles many years ago would sit around and just wait for the 3-run home run, not a lot of managing. So we got one of those today, and that, you know, that's like the double play. It's pretty devastating.
They played a very good game. I thought that was a good baseball game. You know, they made a mistake to a hitter. We took advantage of it with Cruz's home run. We made a mistake to Williams. He hit a home run. The difference is there were guys on base, and that's the big momentum change.
So a surprising exit there for Yavapai, obviously facing a tough Iowa Western team. And Willie Calhoun, the star, no hits in this JUCO World Series.
Yeah, kind of, I guess a little bit of a letdown. I mean, you can't fault these guys. They're 18, 19, 20 years old playing on the biggest stage, but certainly we wanted to see at least one home run of him. Granted, he was about 5 feet foul of the right field fair pole, but yeah, he leaves this tournament without a hit.
Exactly, and then that takes us to our second game of the day here. That was McLennan taking on San Jacinto in an elimination game. Now check it out.
The San Jacinto Gators have some new life in them after back-to-back wins, but they're facing the team that beat them on Saturday, the McLennan Highlanders. In the bottom of the second, John Meyer chops one to third, and out at first ends the inning, but the throw gets past James Rudkin, and the Gators are going big or going home. Aggressive on the base paths. They send Brett Wright home all the way from first. This one's a photo finish, but Mason George is there first, gets the tag down. Tucker Johnson would feed off that energy in the top half of the third. McLennan trailing 2-1, and Johnson gets his pitch and takes it to left field. That's a 2-run jack, and the Highlanders reclaim the lead 3-2. Same inning, Mason George at the plate now. Bases juiced. George lines one back up the middle. That's going to drop for a base hit and score 2. McLennan is in the driver's seat, up. So looking to tomorrow's schedule, we've got Chattahoochee Valley living to see another day, taking on the defending champs, Iowa Western. First pitch is set for 3 p.m. at Simplesio.
And then at 7:30, we've got the Big Bats from Walter State taking on Northwest Florida State, so obviously that could be a very exciting game.
Yes, absolutely. We expect to see a lot of runs in that game, and we're running out of time here from Simplesio, so I'm going to wrap it up. But don't forget, we'll be back here for tomorrow. We've got 2 games on deck, and we'll have highlights and reaction for you on News Channel 5 at 5, 6, and 10. We're going to toss it to a commercial break, but stick around.